we are live, and then we shall begin. Alrighty, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DuePoint's head office. Thank you for taking time out of your evenings to come listen to me. I hope I make it worthwhile for you. And welcome to everyone who's listening to us on the live stream this evening. So, what do we have in store for you tonight? Tonight is a slight variation in our normal introduction presentation format. It is called Tell All Tuesday, where we invite actual wealth engineers up onto the stage to tell all our newcomers a little story about themselves and what their experience has been so far with DuePoint. So it's going to take us an hour. It's going to be a quick hour, and then after that, you're welcome to come speak to any of the wealth engineers or any of the staff here this evening and ask us questions after the presentation. Alrighty, so let's begin. So as I said, you're in DuePoint's head office. DuePoint is actually a division of Constantia Insurance Company. Right, so you can see Constantia in the background there. They're actually down the road from us in Randburg. They were founded in 1952, so that's nearly 70 years ago. Right, that's a fairly long time ago. I like to joke that selling life insurance just after World War II must have been good for business. So they've been around for a long time. They're actually a very reputable financial services provider, and they're one of the few financial service providers that actually has an insurance license. There are very few businesses in South Africa that have insurance licenses. You might not have seen or recognized their logo. It's the little orange logo in the bottom right corner there, because they actually don't deal with the public directly up until now through DuePoint. So they typically underwrite a lot of other FSPs. So when another FSP offers you life insurance, it's typically underwritten by a company like Constantia. So for the first time, they're dealing directly with the public, all of you guys, us, through this division called DuePoint. There's our FSP number. You'll see in the foyer above the water machine, our license. So if you want to do a background check on who we are, on who Constantia is, you're very welcome to. So be assured, you're dealing with a very reputable business. Who are the individuals behind DuePoint? Well, this is us, some of the managers and the executives. Brendan is the head executive. These three characters over here are all chartered accountants. Can you see they're talking amongst themselves, ignoring Jane and I on the right? Right? It wasn't posed. This is how work is for us every day. So the three CAs here, Brendan's got a lot of experience in financial services. He actually founded Prime Meridian Direct, which is down the road from us. Tim comes to us from the first RAND group, and Stacey comes to us from the consulting aspect of financial services. And then you've got Jane over here. She's always got the best smile, welcomes all the guests we have into the office, and she's got a lot of experience in direct selling, in direct marketing. She's got a lot of experience from the UK, so if you ever speak to her, you'll notice she's got a British accent that she hasn't lost after 10 years of being in South Africa. We don't hold it against her. And then the best looking and the tallest individual in the business is myself. And I come to you from marketing and advertising. I ran a digital agency for about 15 years of my life. I started it when I was fairly young, when no one really knew what the internet was, and I could fool my way into business quite easily as a youngster. And 2 years ago, I sold the business and I joined Brendan in this endeavor. So we all have fairly diverse backgrounds and abilities, but we've all been specifically brought together to make DuePoint as successful as possible, for the sake of our wealth engineers as well as for us. And we are all very passionate about being able to give fellow South Africans the opportunity to change their lives. Alrighty, so why have you been brought here this evening? You've probably been brought here on the premise of a financial opportunity, right? You've been promised something. But let's take a step back. What is the need that we all have that would pique our interest in coming to a presentation like this? So if you are brave enough to listen to the radio in the mornings, or open the newspaper on a Sunday, or tune into Carte Blanche, you will realize that the economy in South Africa is in pretty much a state of turmoil. It's fairly depressing. I choose not to listen to the radio or tune into Carte Blanche or read the newspaper. specifically because it's fairly depressing, right? And it affects all South Africans. There's even speak of a global recession on its way, whatever that means. We know it's going to affect South Africa. That always seems to be on the tail end of whatever's happening globally. You see America suffer, and you think the dollar price is going to weaken against the rand. It never does for some other reason. But these are all aspects of our lives that we have absolutely no control over. But no control over it. But there is one aspect that we can control, and that's the debt in our lives. But if you look at the economic climate in South Africa, I experience it fairly firsthand. My wife is an employment litigator for Anglo American, who at one stage, very recently, was the biggest private employer in South Africa. And they've gone through numerous restructuring. Recently, they announced that they were going to get rid of their two biggest assets, SA Coal and Kumba Iron Ore. Their share price shot up. But in effect, they were getting rid of 110,000 jobs, right? And those aren't only mine workers. We always think about these mines that are restructuring and retrenching and we think, the poor mine workers. It's not only the mine workers. It's people at head office with my wife. She's got people in their 40s, in their 50s, who are professionals. They're accountants, they're engineers that have been told they're getting retrenched. So we see this happening across the landscape in South Africa, regardless of what sector you're in, right? You look at the drought that we all had to survive in the last few months, which was supposedly the worst drought we've had in the last 100 years. The effect of that? Potatoes going up 300% in a matter of 6 months. So again, I tell you, these are aspects we don't really have control over. But what we do have control over is debt. And we are afforded debt the moment we earn a salary. You're still a little wet behind the ears when you get your first paycheck and you don't realize what you're getting yourself into until it hits you a little later in life. But the moment you have that salary gets put into a bank account, and the moment that happens, you're afforded all these products and services from the financial institutions, right? Credit cards, very convenient. We all love to have a credit card or 5. Makes life easier. I was recently overseas. I didn't bother getting traveler's checks or going to get currency. I just used my credit card while I was overseas. So that's a great feature. A home loan is part of natural life for everyone. Everyone's fairly happy to sign a 20-year agreement to pay off the house that they buy. Very exciting getting your first car. I remember getting my first car. It meant freedom. Although I nearly killed all my friends the first weekend I took everyone out in my city golf. But it was liberating owning a car for the first time. And hopefully a portion of your money is going towards savings, right? Towards an investment. But even so, that money that you're saving every month is still subject to costs, right? So the FSB, they send us statistics on what's happening in the landscape of South Africa from people's lives, and they told us last year that that the average South African, 50% of the salary goes straight towards paying off debt, right? That's the average South African. So let's say 50% is now left to pay for emergencies, educating your children or wanting to educate yourself further on. Planning for your retirement. Another scary statistic. They tell us that the average South African only starts saving for retirement at the age of 50, which is way too late, right? Vacations, and last but not least, those dreams and aspirations that we all had. The spice of life, dreams and aspirations, right? That's what separates us from the animals, I suspect. I don't think animals have dreams and aspirations, but as humans, we do. It really is the spice of life. But what happens is when you start getting a little older, and you've got all this debt in your life, all this accountability, all this responsibility, those dreams start to fade away a little bit. And what happens, especially in our local climate, when the living expenses start going up, potatoes, 300%, when the economy is only growing at 1.3%, inflation is sitting at over 7%, this money that you're saving starts to shrink. In essence, what's happening is your debt is becoming more expensive. And as this becomes, the money that you have for this starts to shrink, it becomes compromised. So like I said, the dreams go out the window. You can't take the vacations that you wanted to take anymore. You're hopefully not compromising on your retirement planning. You don't want to be one of those individuals that only start saving when you're 50, because that's too late, right? And what we realize is that from an early age, what we're actually on is this journey of debt. All South Africans, I would say 99% of South Africans. So that's me. I got my City Golf. I survived the first weekend. My wife liked my car. She decided to marry me. I joke. We had a little baby girl recently who's 3 years old. We're planning a second child. We went from a townhouse into a house. Already in planning a second child, there's already talk, we need a bigger car. The hatchback's definitely not going to be big enough for 4 people. You'll be surprised how much a 3-year-old, how much space they take up, right? So you're on this journey of debt. And you can see why people only start saving at the age of 50. Because it's only then that we stop paying all this debt that exists in our lives. We stop buying a bigger house or a bigger car, right? So we experience this journey of debt throughout our lives. And so at DuePoint, we decided we needed to come up with a solution that can remedy these issues that we face. And so, on this slide, I asked David to come stand next to me. And he's going to share with us the experience he's had in the last few months. There you go, sir. Welcome. So you have been a wealth engineer since the end of April. That's very recent.
Yes.
It's only a couple of months already.
Mm-hmm.
Already earning 1,800 Rand a month.
Exciting.
20,000 Rand a year. Give us a little bit of background. What were you doing? What have you been doing with your life?
Rob, thank you very much. Firstly, guys, let's look at this. You know, one month, 1,400. Let's imagine the next 10 months. Where can that take me to? Let's look at the bigger picture. Let's look at the goals. First month, I got rewarded with this, and I'm so excited. An iPhone. This is a reward for working hard with DuePoint system. So, you know, the sky is the limit, guys, and we've got this opportunity. Let's take it. Let's run with it. You can see what is happening. Look at what is happening in Pretoria at the moment. So, where are we? Where are we sitting? So, we need to take charge of our lives at the moment. We need to make sure we are in control, because as we speak, we're not controlled. You know, for the past 6 months, I've been unemployed. And because of some reasons, I got retrenched and all those kind of things. But when I got this DuePoint opportunity, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to run with this, and I'm going to make sure DuePoint changes my life. And next year, I'm turning 40. I can see my 40th birthday is going to be very exciting. And one other thing is, I'd like to thank my team for working hard. I know it's not easy, but let's be persistent, let's push, and we're going to make it. It's not a 3-month thing, it's a journey. 5 years is still far, but it's just near. So if we push persistently and keep focus, we're going to make it. And I'm happy, and all of you guys, you know, like Engelbert said the last time, what did he say? In the next three years, you'll have to make appointments with me, because I'm running. I'm running pretty fast, and it's going to be difficult to catch me. So let's push.
Okay. Well done. I mean, in a matter of a month to be earning that much already, you've obviously put in a lot of effort. As I know, you were a professional chef.
Yes.
It obviously was not going to get you to the aspirations that you had in life. I know you said before you joined DuePoint, you thought your 40th birthday, you would not even be able to afford to have a big celebration.
Not true, and I can see DuePoint is taking my dreams out of, you know, where I park them, and I'm going out there, and, you know, thanks to DuePoint. And one of the other things that we have with DuePoint is the support. Yesterday, I walked into the office and I told all of them, you know what, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm depressed. And everybody came out of the office and they sat me down and said, you know what, it's just been a month. So take it easy. You've still got a long way to go. So I'm excited. This is the opportunity. If you are invited today, don't waste time. Join.
Thank you.
Thank
David.
you.
So, the DuePoint system, what does it offer wealth engineers like David, right? So, the first part of the presentation is really not something I like to linger on, but it's the reality that faces all of us, right? Economic climate we know nothing about. Debt that we seem to take on naturally as human beings causes a lot of problems in our lives. So there are three things that the DuePoint system does. Number one, it starts to fight back against the debt that we have in our lives. So it's the first goal. We want to get rid of debt in our wealth engineers' lives completely. Number one. The second is to start creating value in an investment that our wealth engineers own, right? Something you own, an asset that is in your name, where the effort that you put into being a wealth engineer every month is rewarded directly to you. The third thing is that ability to connect with your aspirations that you had. You know, up until you make any change in your life, those aspirations might have faded into the background. And I think we fool ourselves, well, especially at my age, I'm the same age as David, I turn 40 soon, but we fool ourselves into thinking that those dreams and aspirations are purely just fantasy. So that's the third aspect that the DuePoint system wants to solve for us. So let's take a look at some of the benefits of the DuePoint system. So basically what happens is if you join us tonight, you contract with DuePoint as a wealth engineer. As a wealth engineer, all we want you to do is go out and build what we call channels of distribution. Into those channels of distribution, DuePoint will sell its products. And that's basically how the DuePoint system works. The benefits of that, additional income. We don't want you to quit your day job, right? Remember, the first goal is to get rid of that debt. So as a part-time endeavor, DuePoint creates additional income over and above your salary. So you can start getting rid of the debt in your life. Because of the nature of our business, being in financial services, we allow you to create recurring income. So I come from an industry where we build per hour, right? I had a whole bunch of designers and developers that worked for me. I could only bill the amount of hours that were in the day. And at the end of the month, reset to zero. Start again. Salespeople would have to go out and find the same amount of business we did last month, every single month. This is very different, and this is a key aspect to the system, is that we allow you guys to create recurring income. So the amount of effort that you put into being a wealth engineer 1 month will reward you in a recurring fashion every consecutive month thereafter. The power of duplication. Again, because this addresses the network marketing model, you guys get to harness the power of duplication. You know, people might think network marketing is a swear word, but if you look at the advantages of it, as a wealth engineer, it is an awesome business model to use. Because instead of working for yourself, like in my business, I only got 40 hours in a week. There's only so much I can do. But based on this business model, the team, the channel that you build beneath you, actually collaborate with you. So if you can only spend 10 hours a week on this business, as a team, you're collaborating, you might have 1,000 hours that are all there to benefit the earnings that you're going to be earning at the end of the month, right? It's completely flexible. You're not accountable to us. You're accountable to yourself. So you can spend 1 hour a week on the business. You can spend 40 hours a week on the business. So you're independent. It's a risk-free endeavor. We are not going to ask you for any startup capital. We're not going to make any crazy promises about give us 10,000 Rand today and by next week we'll give you 20,000 Rand back, right? It's a risk-free endeavor. After this presentation, You might have joined DuePoint. By the end of the month, you can cancel. You would have lost nothing. Right? No qualifications or experience. Financial services is probably the most regulated business industry in South Africa. Again, I was just a simple designer, a creative director. When I joined this business, they dropped a bomb on me. They told me I had to go do regulatory exams, which I wasn't expecting. Still not very happy about it. Right? It is extremely hard to get into financial services today. It is so regulated. When the Phase Act came out in 2002, they shut down 70,000 financial advisors. It was too onerous. They couldn't do the regulatory exams. They didn't have the qualifications. 70,000 jobs gone just by the passing of that act. The DuePoint system allows you guys to get involved in financial services. This is probably the most important point. You guys get to build an asset that you own, right? Your channel is something you own. You can move it into the family trust. You can seed it onto your beneficiaries. You can sell it. It is value that you start building from the day you join that belongs to you. Very important point. And then to the relief of a lot of people, there's no selling involved, right? When financial services, you guys aren't allowed to sell, by the way, unless you go do some regulatory exams and a couple of qualifications. But there's no selling involved. DuePoint will sell its products into the people that you introduce to us. Because of the nature of our business, no stock or distribution. That comes as a huge relief. You don't have to phone us a few weeks back and say, I need to come pick up 500 kilograms of washing powder. Bring Uncle's Bucky, come get all the washing powder, and then run off to all your friends and family trying to sell them washing powder. Right? The nature of our business, we do all the collections on your behalf. And we do that recurringly month after month. So what are these channels of distribution that I speak of? Very basically, it begins with you. That's you in the center there. And you go out and you tell people about DuePoint. When you get them to catch the vision, what DuePoint is, and they decide to join DuePoint, and we place a product with them successfully, that is the beginning of your channel. Harnessing duplication is when those people that you've joined or have had join under you go out and do the same thing. That's how your channel begins to grow, right? Can you see over time the potential of what your channel can grow to? How much time and effort did it take to add those first 5 people in to the business? Can you see how you're able to leverage your time through a system like this? The power of duplication. Leverage your time, build value in something that you own. Then we hit you with our disclaimer slide. Tell everyone in the intro presentation, my favorite slide because of the girl's nasty foot over there. Professional ballet dancer. You know, I've gone through the benefits of the business, how the business works. But don't be fooled. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. We make it as convenient and as easy as possible for you guys to get involved in this business. But it's not easy to be successful in any business opportunity. Any legitimate business opportunity that promises the opportunity for you guys to change your lives needs to be treated as such. It's not about getting involved in a hobby that you want to try out, right? If you're going to get involved in this business, I ask you to take it seriously, like you would any business that you got involved in. Just because there's less risk in this endeavor doesn't mean you treat it with less weight that it deserves. So this is our disclaimer slide. This is my warning slide. If you want to be a professional dancer, like this lady on the right, you need to have that long-term vision, whether it's 5 years ahead or 10 years ahead or 20 years ahead. It changes your mindset completely when you have a long-term vision. Because then after 3 months, you're not going to come crying because you have a callus on your toe, right? Or your toe's hurting, like the ballet dancer. I'm sure there are many ballet dancers that quit after 3 months. My daughter's been doing it for 3 months. She still seems happy. Obviously hasn't developed any blisters yet, right? So I want the same thing for you guys. Set a goal into the future. The issues that you have after a few months are not going to be a problem for you. You need to persevere in a business like this, like any business opportunity. Alrighty, so let's talk about the money. How does the earnings work? We pay you guys a base amount of 27 Rand 50 for every product that we're able to place within your channel. So remember there the 5 individuals that you added into DuePoint, we placed a product with them. These individuals lie on your first point. They are people that you know directly, that you personally put into DuePoint. They're on your first point, and they're subject to a 200% multiplier. So instead of paying you 27 Rand 50, we pay you 55 Rand for every product, every month going forward. And they go out, and they put people into DuePoint, and we place a product with those individuals. They lie on your second point, right? Again, subject to a 200% multiplier. And again, we pay you 55 Rand for all of these individuals every month going forward. And so as your channel grows to the 3rd point, the 4th point, all the way down to the 8th point, we will pay you guys up to 4% on the 8th point. But we don't limit you there. So when your channel grows further than the 8th point, we keep paying you 4% of that base amount. So your channel could grow to the 100th point, right? You could have Jacob Zuma in your channel, you wouldn't even know about it, but you would be earning money from him each and every month going forward. It's the power of duplication, guys, working in your interest. So that's all great in theory. We decided to take those exciting looking accountants on the 3rd slide, and we asked them to come up with a growth model, because you can do that in Excel, supposedly. And they went away, they buried themselves in Excel, and they came up with a growth model for you guys. For you guys to be able to see how much money you actually could be earning if you grew at a certain rate. That rate is what we call the 3+2 model. It assumes that you can add in 3 people in the first month, and then every consecutive month, you only have to add in 2 people. And when you're able to duplicate that into your channel, these are the numbers that you can expect. Whoops. So after 6 months, you could be earning 2,500 Rand a month. Now you speak to someone like my wife, she briefs these heavyweight lawyers who charge 4,000 Rand an hour. So a lot of people might turn their nose up at 2,500 Rand, especially after 6 months of work. It doesn't really sound worth it. But that thing that affects all of us, the debt, is subject to compound interest, and that's what causes all the problems in our lives. So if you let it work for you instead of against you, if you take that 2,500 Rand and you put it into a R1 million bond that you've signed over a 20-year lease, do you know how much money that 2,500 Rand will save you over a 20-year term? It's going to save you R1 million. Does that not sound ridiculous? As a lowly designer, that blows my mind. I'm going to save R1 million on a R1 million bond with just 2,500 Rand a month, because it's going to reduce your bond term from 20 years to 11.5 years. So don't turn your nose up at 2,500 Rand. Just don't spend it on restaurants. After 24 months, you could be earning nearly 30,000 Rand a month. That's why it is so important to persevere in a business like this, right? Because with the power of duplication, the way the business is structured, the growth is actually compound growth. Now, 30,000 Rand a month starts to make serious difference in someone's life. I always joke with my wife. I tell her 30,000 Rand a month, she can then stay at home and make me sandwiches for lunch. She can stay at home with our daughter. She said no. And I said, well, if you're not going to stay at home, I'm going to spend the money on a new Porsche, which is probably a very bad decision. If you keep going, 36 months, you could be earning nearly 50,000 Rand a month. We're talking about serious cash, 600,000 Rand over and above what you're earning at your day job, right? Is your part-time endeavor now earning you as much as your daytime job? Perhaps. if you look at that issue of compound interest and putting it into your bond, at 30 months, you're probably earning about 37,000 Rand. You put that into a bond, it'll reduce the term to less than 7 years. So as I mentioned, I'm 39 at the moment. I've got 21 years until early retirement, right? That's the early retirement age nowadays. I think normal retirement's now pushed out to 70 because people are only saving from the age of 50. So I've got 21 years. If I get to that stage within DuePoint, I can pay off 3 houses to the value of 5 million Rand. So when I'm ready to retire at 60, I'll have 3 houses that I'm renting out for, I don't know, 25, 30,000 Rand a month. I'm earning what DuePoint's giving me. I don't have to rely on my day job. I've got a passive income that's probably in excess of 100,000 Rand a month. Does that not sound like a way better retirement plan than what my day job is promising me? So you keep on going, because at 50,000 Rand a month, you're very excited. You're not going to quit. After 4 years, you could be probably close to 75,000 Rand a month. After 5 years, close to 100,000 Rand a month. That's R1 million bonus a year on top of your salary. How many people do you know got R1 million bonus from their full-time employers? Huh? Maybe the CEO of Eskom. Right? And is that far away? Is 60 months far away? I did not blink when I signed the 5-year lease for my first car. It was just accepted, right? This is how much I earned. This is what the City Golf's going to cost me. 5 years I signed, no problem. When we go to varsity, typical degree is close to 5 years. That's 5 years of not getting paid anything to then go find a job with someone who you're going to make rich. 5 years is not a long time. So if you join this evening, I want you to have a 5-year goal. What is your aspirations with DuePoint after 5 years of being a wealth engineer? So we have Michael all the way from Durban. Michael, come up, sir. There you go. Come stand over here.
Thank you.
So you joined fairly early on in February. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I didn't know they had business people in Durban.
Well, we try to avoid the work as much as possible, but we like the money as much as you do.
Oh, do you?
We
okay. Do. And so you've been with us for about, 4 months now? Maybe a bit long. Yeah, 4 months. What's your experience been?
It's been very, very good. I mean, Brendan and I had opportunity to chat about DuePoint in its infancy stages before it launched. My background is financial planning, so I have a master's in financial planning and investments. Okay. So I do all of those horrible exams that you talk about early and often. But I was very, very excited because of his vision. So his vision really, really gripped me. Because he had a vision to help people. He had a vision to change lives and create an opportunity for, as you say, all South Africans to make a difference. And to not only make a difference in their life, but to make a difference in their family's life. And that really, really inspired me, and I liked what I saw. Yeah. So I was in.
So, I mean, based on the 3+2 model, you are tracking that fairly closely. And as a financial advisor who's fairly educated in these type of things, does the growth model and the growth that you've experienced, does that speak to you? I mean, is it living up to expectation?
Yes, definitely. I currently am working between 10 and 14 hours a day. So I do not do this full time. I have a limited amount of time to be able to speak to people about the DuePoint opportunity, but I do that whenever I can. So even on the plane, on the way here from Durban, today I actually have 2 appointments with the 2 people sitting next to me.
Okay, well done.
Regarding DuePoint.
The Durbanites aren't shy, clearly.
No.
Okay, that's great. And are you able to share with us some aspirations? I mean, if you track 3+2, can you imagine yourself earning R1 million a year after 5 years? Do you have aspirations that exceed that?
I definitely have aspirations that exceed that.
Tell us.
Well, my first goal, which may seem far off for many, is to earn 200,000 Rand a month.
Okay.
The reason why is my dream is to travel. I want to take my children to the Amazon jungle. I want to take them to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, to dive on the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
And income is a necessity in order to do that. So it is a very strong goal, but it is a goal that I believe is realistic. It won't happen overnight. As we all know, the effort that you put into DuePoint is the reward that you'll get out of it. But I think our teams are very important. You know, I love that Jean Paul Getty quote that you had there. I would rather have 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own.
Yeah.
And if we look at the power of compounding and the fact that we can compound our efforts through other people, we can use that to generate an income, but we can also do that to change other people's lives.
Yeah.
Now, when I sit with my team, I say to them, I want you to be epic. And for me, epic is excellence, prosperity, integrity, and contribution. So I want them to be people of excellence. I want them to be prosperous, because the more they prosperous, the more obviously I will prosper. I like them to be people of integrity, and in our team we actually have a history of contribution and giving back, and it's actually helping other people, and in doing so, helping them be prosperous through the DuePoint strategy.
Yeah, and that rings true for DuePoint as a business as well. We are only going to be successful if our wealth engineers are successful, if they're able to change their lives. The same is said for us.
Indeed.
So we're very excited to be on this journey with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to
To
DuePoint.
make a lot of money when the rand is 15 to the dollar, especially if you want to go overseas.
Indeed.
Thanks,
Thank
Michael.
you so much.
Cheers. Alrighty, so we discussed the way you earn with DuePoint, but it's not the only way that you get rewarded with DuePoint. So what you see over here is what we call our XP Rewards program. So I showed you how you earn based on all the products that you have in your channel. This is almost like a study guide. So remember, we all like to take shortcuts because we end up cramming for any exam, and you go out and you buy the study guide. This is almost a program that is a study guide to take you from a beginner wealth engineer to an experienced, effective wealth engineer, right? So all these little blocks floating past here are very basic tasks that become harder and harder, that allow you to earn XP points, right? And when you start earning more XP points and your channel starts to grow, we start to reward our wealth engineers with holidays, not only for the wealth engineer, the entire family. We give away cars to wealth engineers that reach certain ranks within the program. We give away tools that help our wealth engineers become more effective in what they do in terms of building their channels. So this is a table of the XP Rewards program. I like to open it up completely. And you'll see the column on the right there, those are the rewards that we give our wealth engineers. And they start out fairly small. You need to answer 2 criteria to get the reward. The one is the points that I spoke of, those little tasks. The second is your channel size. When you meet those 2 criteria, we give you the reward. And as I said, they start out small, 55 Rand, another 100 Rand, 100 Rand, 400 Rand. Those tools I spoke of to make your job as a channel builder more effective start over here, rank 5. We give you a very expensive memory stick, right? A fancy memory stick. It can plug into your cell phone, it can plug into your computer. It's USB 3, so it's really fast. But more importantly, we put all our training collateral onto the USB stick, all the development seminars we do, to help you guys be more effective going out there and building your channels. At rank 7, we give you 7,000 Rand premium business cards. Now, most people think that's absolutely nuts. Even our printer thinks we're nuts, spending 7,000 Rand on business cards, right? But they are the Rolls Royce of business cards. If you've ever been to a function and someone pitches up in a Rolls Royce, everyone takes notice. People whisper, what does he do? How did he make his money? Who is he? When you put the Rolls Royce of business cards in someone's hand, they're going to take notice. They're going to ask you, what is DuePoint? What do you do for them? And hopefully they'll be sitting next to you at the next intro presentation. Again, tools that make channel building easier for you guys. Then things get exciting. Rank 9. So all these rewards over here are once-offs. When you get to the rank, you get a once-off reward. But at rank 9, this is an annual reward. That holiday, not for the wealth engineer, the wealth engineer's family. Business class tickets to a 5-star resort. Right? We want you guys to engage with the possibility of what it means to change your life. That reward does that. You don't have to have a family meeting and check your bank account to see whether you can afford a holiday, right? Which we all do. The only thing you need to worry about is submitting the leave form to HR. And be sure to tell them that you're traveling business class with the whole family. So they can go, what are you doing? I know how much I pay you. You can't afford business class tickets for the whole family, right? The car at rank 11. It's the best car you can ever have. It's a paid-off car. One you're not paying for at the end of every month, right? You were all thinking, what, Porsche, Mercedes? It's a paid-off car. Very few of us have paid-off cars. So you can only imagine what the rewards are as you keep ranking up, because they get bigger and better. So at this stage, we have a lot of not wealth engineers, but guests that come up to us and are a bit worried about all the money we seem to be spending on our wealth engineers. So this slide is to appease any of those thoughts that you might be having. This is a traditional business model. We all know for any company, traditionally to get product to market, they have to do marketing and advertising, right? Financial services, particularly insurance businesses, spend an absolute fortune on advertising and marketing. I know, I had clients that were in insurance. There are some insurance companies that you hear on the radio. You phone them for a quote. They'll pay you 400 Rand if they don't better the quote. That 400 Rand is typically what they're paying for client acquisition. When we did marketing for insurance companies, we did a lot of Google AdWord campaigns. When you type in car insurance into Google and all those little ads come up before the real results come up, if you click on one of those ads, you've just cost that company about 300 Rand. That's how much they're willing to pay just for a click. That's not even for a client. So it's very expensive. You will not see DuePoint doing any marketing and advertising outside this building. You won't see our logos anywhere. You won't see us doing advertising in newspapers or on the radio or in magazines or online. We depend on our wealth engineers to introduce us to people, right? So instead of spending the R1 billion that insurance companies spent last year, we pay our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards. And that's basically our model. So you don't have to worry about the money too much. Alrighty, our next guest, our wealth engineer, Kateko, please come up, sir. That's for you.
Thank you, sir.
And I have a prize for Kateko. I do. So he put in a lot of effort into his channel building last month, and he rewarded himself with an iPhone 5S. There you go, sir. Well
so
done.
that you check first, if not just a box.
Ever skeptical. That's what we deal with. Skeptics all the time. We're trying to prove everyone wrong.
Great.
So you joined us on the 16th of April. Still fairly new to the business. What has been your background before you decided to become a wealth engineer?
Well, it's been steep ups and downs, but trust me, when I got introduced to this opportunity, it was actually a cousin of mine. Okay. On my way to his house, because he had called me and I knew exactly what is it about. But I had
Were
said
you
to
skeptical
I
again?
had said to my wife, okay, not another one. Okay, we're not getting involved at all. But before the presentation, or when we were going through the presentation, before it even ended, I had actually concluded that, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to ask her. She was sitting next to me. I asked my cousin immediately, okay, what do I need to do?
And what convinced you? What made you decide that you wanted to become a wealth engineer after 30 minutes?
But it was the money, okay?
The money.
I'm being honest.
That's a good reason.
No, I'm being honest. I mean,
Yeah.
when I looked at the money, I looked at 6 months. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I can do it in 1 month. You know, knowing the capabilities that I have. Because to me, it's just mainly about opening my mouth and talking to people. And in doing that, I'm changing people's lives, you know. And I mean, I've always prayed that, okay, you know what, God, if you can bless me, I'll be a blessing to others. And it's happening. It's happening through DuePoint. Hi, love. It's happening through DuePoint. I'm impacting people every day.
Yeah, I think what's so awesome about this business is that you can start creating value so quickly. I mean, you joined on the 16th of April. By the next month, you'd already earned 1,600 Rand a month. You're already at a stage where you're earning 25,000 Rand a year, more than what you would have
That's
before
quite
you joined
exciting.
DuePoint.
That's quite exciting. I mean, guys, I work in the south of Johannesburg. I stay in Centurion. Every day in the morning, I make sure that I leave at 22:06, okay, so that I can beat the traffic, right? And when I get to work, I work my butt out, and I leave after 5, so that I can drive nicely without traffic. So that's horrible. I've got 2 boys. What time do I get to spend? When do I get to spend the time with my boys? I can't do that. But this opportunity, I'm looking at these guys. I'm going to have a beautiful Christmas. Trust me.
Good.
You might be sitting here, whether you like what I'm hearing or not. Trust me, I'm going to have a beautiful Christmas. So I mean, this is what this opportunity is giving me. Okay, these are not just numbers. This got into my account. Okay. So it's not really about the value of the money. It's the fact that there was a rand into my account. Okay, guys, I get paid on the 18th and again on the 25th. That's quite exciting.
It is. And certainly one of the biggest benefits of this business is not so much what the money is, but what the money affords you, and that is more time.
True.
If you get to the point where you don't have to leave at whatever time it is in the morning and leave in the afternoon to avoid traffic, you can dictate your own hours once you have the opportunity to
Rob, let me tell
do
you something.
DuePoint full-time.
Let me tell you something, Rob.
Tell me.
Let me stop talking. You called me up here. It's my platform right now. Okay, guys, I want to let you in on a secret. The reason I decided to join DuePoint, it was because of freedom. Okay, I wanted freedom to my time. What does freedom gives me? It gives me an allowance for me to decide when do I get to do this, with whom. Money will no longer be a factor. Okay, but what's important is the time. The time which I'm complaining about right now, which I'm stuck in traffic. To me, that's mainly about that. Freedom. Okay,
Exactly.
I want to take my children to and from school. Okay, go back, sleep another 2 hours, wake up at 10 o'clock, have breakfast at Wimpy. How's that?
Those sound like very good goals.
That's actually
Very
quite
good
exciting. So I want to urge you, if you're here tonight and you're not sure about this opportunity, like he said, guys, 2-3 years from now, unfortunately, I might not have the time that I have now for you. You need to make a very serious appointment to meet me.
Kateko, it's been an absolute pleasure. We're very excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you, sir. can see Katek was not shy. In all my haste this evening, I hit my head on the pillar next to the reception. Everyone came to me concerned, and Kateko was laughing. Thank you, sir. So, you might have been wondering what the products are that we're going to be selling to the people you introduce us to. So we have 3 products. The first one is Access Wealth. It is an investment product, right? 274 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand goes into a tax-free investment fund that you guys have full access to, right? That's your money. 100 Rand goes into that account every month. On top of that, we give you 100,000 Rand personal accident cover. So if you own the product and something happens to you, you get hit by a car, you get stabbed, you get shot. These are all realities of being South African. We will put 100,000 Rand into that investment account for your beneficiaries. Right? So this is the investment product, Access Wealth. This is part of the goal of creating wealth that you guys own. Okay? The second product, Wealth Guard. We are trying to guard the wealth that you're creating. So this is our insurance product. It is 249 Rand a month. Okay? This affords you 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. It is accessible to everyone. You do not need to have a medical. You're not going to have a nurse coming to your office to ask you a whole bunch of questions. You don't have to declare your medical history or your family's medical history. You can have cancer. You can be 80 or 90 years old. You can still take out this product, and it is still going to cost you 249 Rand a month. The third product is Wealth Points. It's actually the only non-financial product we have. It is a lifestyle product. It allows you to save money on the money you're spending every month. So it tackles the issues that we're facing from the other point of view. We know you're going to be spending money every month, so why not try save on that spend, right? 249 Rand a month, of which you keep 100 Rand. It goes into an e-wallet, which we call your Wealth Points, okay? You're able to spend the money that you have in Wealth Points, and more than that, if you wish, with these suppliers here. The first supplier is awesome. They're called the Entertainer. They're probably the premium buy one, get one free voucher system that exists on this planet. When you sign up to Wealth Points, you get access through the Entertainer to 1.24 million Rands worth of vouchers. It is crazy, right? When we first looked at this product, I thought, oh, buy one, get one free, right? When they arrived with the voucher books, I was dumbfounded because they are massive. They give you access to all the top restaurants around South Africa, top hotels around the country, as well as globally, all the live events. For the ladies, there's spas in there, so you can go for your massages and your facials. Maybe some of the men need waxes. All available to you through the Entertainer. That's just one of the suppliers. The premium will pay for itself. If you go for a lunch, you buy one lunch, you get the second lunch free. Hirsch's, ShopRite, Checkers, Take-A-Lot, Yuppie Chef, all the typical retailers that we know, we've negotiated corporate-only discounts with all of these suppliers that you, as a Wealth Points owner, get access to. We've got personal trainers, half price at the personal trainers. We've got Vodri, which is supposedly salon products for the ladies. Maybe some of the men use salon products too. So you have access to these suppliers. We are growing this list every month. Every month we have meetings with different suppliers. This list is getting bigger and bigger every month. It is an awesome product. Alrighty. So if you decide to join DuePoint this evening to become a wealth engineer, be assured that you're joining a business that is only here to make you guys successful as possible. The facilities that you're sitting in are for our wealth engineers. We've got free Wi-Fi, there's the tea and coffee, there's the facilities, the boardrooms that you guys have access to. You can have meetings here. You can just come and use the Wi-Fi and update all your apps if you wish. We don't mind, right? But everything we've done at DuePoint, the time and effort that we've spent on the branding, has all been to make your lives as channel builders easier and more effective, right? We've got client service staff that are extremely experienced in this type of business. They have got plenty experience between them, in excess of 20 years each. Again, to support you guys. The individuals that I introduced you to on slide 3 are here to support our wealth engineers. You are free to make appointments with us whenever you like. We will help you. We will answer questions. We will help you in intro presentations that you want to do yourself. Everything in this business is geared to help you guys. Can any other business say that they do the same thing? And so, last but not least, Patrick and Pumi, our superstars, one of the superstars of our business, come up. Who's going to talk first? They usually fight over this, so I know. Okay, you stand over there.
Okay.
So give everyone a little introduction as to what you guys have been doing before you joined DuePoint.
Okay. Wow. This business is just an amazing business. Rob, can I not answer that? I just want to say. Okay.
Because
when
debt was a real problem for you guys at one
Yeah,
stage.
but something we can talk about later. Okay. I remember the first day we came for presentation, and we actually sat like this, and I listened to the presentation. I could see that Patrick is taken by this business. I was not sure. I remember when we finished the presentation, we went to sign up, and he said to me, "We're signing up." And I'm like, "But now?" You know, can we talk about this later? He said, "No, we're signing up. We're going to talk about how we're going to do it later." Okay. I was like, okay, that's nice. And 2 months after that, and I look at the slides today, I'm like, yo, we made a wise decision about taking this opportunity. Because I'm just looking at this, we already have taken things out of our list, which now I can enjoy shopping. That's a nice part about it. Yeah, that's a bit about this business. It's all, you know, when you're sitting like this, you're thinking, how are you going to do this business? You're thinking of the house and do's and all that. But that's not an issue now. The issue is, do you want to make an extra income? You know, because we're not saying go out there, go and leave your job, or, you know, we're going to replace your money in 2 months, 3 months. But what I'm saying is, if we didn't take that decision about this business that day, I don't think that we're going to have this extra income. And I love it. Thank you.
Hi again, second time. The other month I was on the stage again, greeting you. Okay, as Rob was talking just now about debt. Okay, we used to stay somewhere around not of Joburg. Okay, so where we were staying, the house was enough for me and Pumi. Then 2016. Then we decide to to get another house somewhere down the road. Okay, I won't say where. Okay, maybe one day you'll come to my house. But if you come from the trip, okay, guys. What I want to say now, where we're staying now, is not like where we used to stay before. Okay, it was so hard for me as a man. Okay, but what makes me happy again? It's only 3 months now I'm in this business. Okay. Already, going to 4. Already, we replaced the 2 things now. I replaced the school fees for my son.
Awesome.
2, I replace our helper, the income. Maybe she might get increase as well if the things are going well. And another thing. The lady I'm standing next to, she liked to going out shopping. It was hard. It was hard for me again. Every weekend must go out spending 700 rand. It was so hard. But for now, like last Saturday, it was so easy for me because I had the money with the extra income, because we still got another income from somewhere where I was working. So this one was just an extra income. But now I replace the 2 things. Maybe next month looks like I'm gonna replace the helper, the income. The car, because the car is too much also, guys. Okay, so it's a decision time. I don't know if you join, lucky for you. If you don't join, you're gonna remember us one day to say why you never joined. Guys, really, this is a really business. If I was you, I was gonna join today, but I'm not forcing you to join. If you wanna still gonna go think and ask someone, but I don't know. But I'm in, I did it, as you can see yourself. Next month is gonna be Wes. Thank you, bye, we love you guys.
Thank you, guys. There you go. I think Patrick's letting out his family secrets there a little bit. But that's the truth of it, you know. What is the reality for you? Are you able to get a helper at home? Are you able to send your kid to a better school? That's really what this affords you. So we hit you with the bright slide, as Brendan likes to say, because it's time to make a decision. We are now concluding the presentation. So you might have decided already what you want to do, but I need to remind you. Often, we are dictated to by the circumstances around us. Our future is dictated to us by the situation we find ourselves in South Africa. Especially if you're dependent on a single form of income, which is your employer. And if you're married to an employment litigator, you will know that that is not guaranteed. Whatever aspirations you had, her colleagues, professionals, they probably did fairly well at school. They were probably fairly bright individuals. They went to university for however long they needed to complete their degrees. Some even studied further. They had aspirations that they thought that path of education would have met for them. They joined the biggest private employer in the country, only to be told that they're being retrenched. Right? There's a lot of risk involved in having that single form of income. I know for ourselves, if my wife or I had to get retrenched, there would be serious lifestyle changes that would have to be made. And that is stressful. I've seen it happen. I have family members who have gone through that. My father got retrenched 15 years ago. He was also involved in mining, purely through a restructuring thing that happened because of the JCE having had things done to them with old Brett Cable running around up to his shenanigans. Ended with my father retrenched. You know, so it's a reality for all of us. So the decision is not weighing up the benefits of DuePoint so much. It's really about you guys making a decision as to whether you want to take control over your future or not. And that is really what the decision's about. And I've shown you individuals who are making it happen. We are not talking about theory here. You can make it a reality for yourself. And quickly, you can start adding value immediately, within 30 days. Like one of the guys said, you can have 2 paydays in a month, right? So if you decide not to make a decision, that's a decision in itself. That means you're just going to carry on like you've been up until this point. So joining is very easy. Like everything else in DuePoint, we make it as convenient and as easy as possible. We've got the free Wi-Fi that's accessible to everyone. We've got the iPads. Join this evening. It's going to take you 7 minutes to fill out the application form. You can start adding value to an asset that you own from tomorrow. You can be on the phone with people this evening if you want to. These intro presentations we do every Monday, every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Saturday, right? So by Thursday, you can have other individuals sitting next to you in this intro presentation. You can start earning money immediately. So you saw Kateko get rewarded with an iPhone 5S. This is what we do every month, right? Again, adding value to wealth engineers, even if they're only a few days old. So this is accessible to all our wealth engineers, and it's achievable to all the wealth engineers, regardless of how long they've been with us. So this was called Young Guns. It's a different theme, a different challenge every month. They had to get under 30s to add to be added into their channel, right? It's actually very challenging. It's usually only when you get closer to my age do you realize how hectic life is and that the aspirations you had are probably not going to be met. And as youngsters, we're obviously having way too much fun, right? You've just got your car, having a lot of fun. So we put this challenge out to all the wealth engineers, add the under 30s in, and we will reward you with an iPhone 5S. So one of the gentlemen who also won an iPhone, Donnie, please come up. Congratulations, sir. Thank you so much. Enjoy the iPhone. Guys, so be reminded, we're here to do this together, right? A team is always going to be more effective than someone trying to work on their own. When two or more people are trying to do the same thing with the same goals, same aspirations, anything can be done. So thank you for making it out tonight. If you have any questions, we're all outside. We can answer any question that you have. Thank you for your time.